Terry Bradshaw is putting up $1 million for grabs again in this week's free-to-play Super 6 contest. All you have to do is correctly predict the outcome of 6 NFL games. Make sure you get your picks in before kickoff Sunday for your chance to be a millionaire. And for top stories, scores, and more, go to the Fox Sports app. Colin, Panthers-Saints is one of the matchups this week. Give us your winner and final score.
A lot of Vegas wise guys love the Saints by 10, 30, 20. They're very good late October, November is when the Saints start playing well. Saints off a bye. Carolina's had several really tough games. I like the Saints to win by 10. By the way, the greatest invention, NASA yesterday, maybe the day before, NASA creates a spaceship that landed on a moving asteroid. It was only on there for about 6 seconds and got rocks because they want to know, trying to figure out these asteroids so they don't hit us and blow the earth up. So literally, I thought FaceTime was the greatest invention of my life. I told you FaceTime. My daughter was in South Africa. I was on a beach in California, and I talked to her. She was in a tiny room. I was on the beach, and I talked to my daughter on FaceTime. I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world. I just couldn't figure it out. And literally, instantaneously, no delay. That has been surpassed by NASA creating a spaceship that can land on a moving asteroid.
Well, I mean, that's good news. So if Armageddon happens, we can send
prepared.
Buscemi and Bruce Willis up there and get it done.
Yeah, Bruce Willis was on it. The sources tell me that was a movie, but we have some verification that was just fiction.
I love that movie, and I cry every time, even though I know it's going to happen. Every time.
Antonio Cromartie is not fiction. 11 years in the NFL, joining us live, the 4-time Pro Bowler. So people think I don't like Aaron Rodgers, but I do say that he has been blown out 10% of his career starts, and Russell Wilson less than half that. Is that Russell tends to be kind of a neutral personality, no highs, no lows. Aaron tends to be, discount, double check. He's doing celebrations, or he gets moody and his body language is lousy. And I watched him this weekend, and I said after the second pick, it's not that he shut down, but he wouldn't throw the ball downfield. He wouldn't take big risks. Now, he could probably argue it was windy. They'd figured me out. But is it a fair criticism that Aaron tends to be a little hot and cold, and sometimes his body language is a turnoff for me? It's like he kind of bails on games and plays.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say he bails. I just think his body language it tells you how he's really feeling. He almost threw 2 pick sixes in that game. So, you get something like that, and you really don't do that throughout your whole entire career. It's something like, man, what is going on? He threw a bad out, a pass that he threw very late on. That usually I don't see him make that kind of throw. And the other ones, the defenders made a great play on the second one. But throughout that game, you can tell that his body language wasn't there. Like you said, he wasn't getting the ball down the field. He just felt like looked like he just was not into that game after those 2 interceptions.
So the Cowboys, multiple players leaking to a reporter, Jane Slater, these coaches don't know what they're doing. They don't adapt. They're bad at their jobs. Have you, in your 11 years in the NFL, were you ever on a team, Antonio, where there were leaks to the press banging on the coaching staff?
No, not banging on the coaching staff. It was more so stuff that was getting leaked that coaches was banging on the players through the media, but they wouldn't say who they were. But it's just a point of you dealing with that as a leader in the locker room, whatever's being leaked out. It's not being leaked out by the guys that don't play. It's by the leaders, be honest with you. And that's something that, the coach needs to get a control of the locker room. Yes, professional players, I always say this is your locker room, but at the end of the day, your team goes as far as your coach is going to really take you. And these guys need to understand, it's a new coach. It's a new year. Everything is being done differently because all the situation that's dealing with COVID. Guys got to handle the belt away. It's not, chasing Garrett, giving you what you want to do, what you have to do. It's Mike McCarthy. So he has to go out and go do what he has to do. No matter who's his coaching staff, it's you guys out there every single day that's putting the film out on the football field. So if you guys go out and perform the way you need to, you don't have to worry about the coaching staff. Can't blame your losses on the coaching staff because they're not playing. All that they can do is prepare you to get ready to play. And you guys got to prepare also by watching film and doing what you're supposed to do. So it's a 50-50 thing in this. And players need to just sit back and just, don't go to the media about it. Go to the head man about it. I'm pretty sure he has, Jerry Jones has his door open for you can come and go talk to him.
Did you ever have a coach, though, Antonio, that you thought didn't know what he was doing? Did you ever have what you thought to be was a really bad coach in your career?
Yeah, I'll tell you. What's I forgot his name. He's over in Green Bay now, the defensive coordinator. I can't even think of his name right
Mike
now.
Pettin?
That's over there at Green Bay. But I felt the same way about him. I think Rex had given him the job at that point in time, but I just felt like at that point in time that he couldn't tell me anything that I couldn't get from anybody.
Yeah. So Antonio Brown's talented, but I've saw him kind of blow up in Pittsburgh, Oakland, New England. It didn't work. Seattle's really good. They've already got a number one receiver in DK Metcalf. Is Antonio Brown worth the risk?
I think he's worth the risk. I think the biggest thing now is just how is he mentally. The athlete Antonio Brown is great. The football player is great, but it's just the off the field antics, the mental part of the game. I mean, say the mental part of it. Is he mentally ready to actually come back into an organization and actually do what they need him to do? And I think that's where you have to look at it. I think we just have to get into a standpoint of understanding, is he there mentally to come back into an organization and be a part of an organization? Because like I said, it's been 3 organizations where he's blown up after the whole entire thing, and you don't want that. I think the Seahawks are headed in the right direction and have a number one receiver in DJ Metcalf, and you just got to go from there.
Yeah. If you were on a team like Seattle, which is clearly good enough to play for the Super Bowl, and you were on the team, you're one of their 5-6 stars, and they bring in Antonio Brown, and he starts to go sideways a little bit. Would you be comfortable confronting him as a veteran player? Because like Seattle's got veteran leadership. Russell Wilson, Bobby Wagner. Can you, if a guy starts to go sideways, did you always feel like, hey, I feel comfortable going and talking to him, man-to-man, player-to-player?
Oh, 100%. But I think that starts with the leaders that's in the locker room. I think when you get the core guys as Russell Wilson, Bobby Wagner, and those guys have that conversation with him before anything goes sideways and what the expectations of him on the field and off the field needs to be, then you already set those standards. And when those expectations aren't being met on the field or off the field, then we have to have another conversation. But I think that needs to be handled by the leaders in the locker room, by having a sit-down meeting. If they do sign Antonio Brown to the Seahawks, to have a sit-down meeting and understand what we're trying to do and what we're looking for from you.
Le'Veon Bell to the Chiefs. I was telling Joy, I said, sometimes sports is amazing. He goes from the worst team in the league to potentially the best team in the league. I saw this with Calais Campbell, went Jaguars to Ravens, and I thought, what a gift to be at the end of your career, to go to the best offensive coach in football, maybe the best quarterback. I kind of think this is just going to it's unwrapping a present. It's like Le'Veon's going to be inspired. He's going to play well. But you tell me, when you get traded to a team, can a new environment change everything for a player?
Well, a new environment can change everything, especially if you're winning. If you got a winning environment, you got people that actually want you in the building, then, those circumstances change. You're looking at it in a totally different way, and you want to go make sure you go out and do everything the right way and do the things that you're supposed to do. He didn't have that when he was with the Jets. You had a coach that didn't want him in the first place, didn't use him well, didn't have no idea how to use him, and now you're going with the coach, one of the best offensive-minded coaches, to go out and go use him well. But not only that, he's not going to be taking a lot on his body still. He's going to be the reliever for the rookie. So you're talking about taking some carries away for the rookie running back to be able to go out and play in those months of November, December, heading into the playoffs.
Antonio Cromartie, good seeing you, bud. Thanks, man.
Good seeing you, too. Thank you.
Good stuff. I know all you have said. Great interview, Colin. We just got off the NASA website. It's pretty cool. We have landed a spaceship, not a spaceship. We have landed a lunar module, I'm just making that up, on an asteroid that was going a zillion miles an hour. Does everybody else understand how amazing that is?
It is amazing.
We landed on an asteroid for 6 seconds because it was going so fast. NASA.
I think it's important.
My son wants to work for NASA.
I used to want to work for NASA. That's good that he wants to do that.
Yeah, he's into that stuff. But it's incredible. So I'm on all these little science sites I wouldn't normally go on.
I wanted to be Mae Jemison.
Really?
Yeah, but then I realized I am not a scientist. And that is a requirement for being an astronaut.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought you could just major in PE like the rest of us.
No.
Hey, by the way, RecTech, more than a grill, it's a lifestyle. RecTech with a Q.com, RecTeq.com. Here is Joy Taylor with the news.
No.